Hey, Mega Moms, Jessica Hensley here with Real Estate Mega Moms, where we help moms create a life and a business that they love. I got tongue-tied, sorry. I have Stefanie Stockberger with me today, my partner here at Real Estate Mega Moms. And Steph, one of the things I love about you the most is you have a calming effect. You're just like a warm hug. And when we are talking about this topic today, which is how to handle your clients, yourself, when you're in a high emotional or they're in a high emotional state, how do we navigate that? I think women and moms, we should be naturally empathetic and have kind of that sixth sense, if you will, of being able to sense when something's wrong and be able to navigate through. But Steph, like they say, sometimes we're not just realtors, we're therapists. Do you feel that sometimes?
Oh gosh, yeah.
So we're going to talk through that. We're going to talk through how you can navigate it for yourself, some tips that we are learning and have implemented, and what we do in a highly emotional time. Hey, Steph.
Hello. It's funny on your intro, you were saying how I'm calming in these situations. And I wish you would have known me, and the people that are listening that knew me. Well, I'm 51 now, but if you would have known me 35, 40 years ago, they're laughing. They're like, Stefanie, who was calming? Because when I was younger, I was a hothead. I was in the middle of everything. And age has slowed me down, and my health has slowed me down. So
maybe it's wisdom. It's wisdom.
Wisdom. Thank you, Jess. Wisdom has slowed me down. Now I am calm.
I think that really, most young people, right? I know I was this way, 18 to 22, 23, really thought I knew everything, right? And unfortunately, I think that's how most people are until they get a reality check of, oh, here's real life problems and here's real life things. My parents might have known what they were talking about at some point, right?
Amen on that. I've got a 13-year-old that knows everything. And I'm like, please, God, say I was not like that. But I know I was like that.
Yeah. So our clients can be like that too. And you've dealt with those clients that they've sold one property and they're an expert and they know everything and you know nothing and I don't even know why I'm paying you kind of situation. But more than that, really what we want to dive into is our own personal emotions too. I mean, there's just so many things going on in the economy with inflation going crazy. Interest rates are still climbing. Some markets have slowed. I feel like our market is a little slower, but in a lot of positive ways. I have been grateful that things aren't flying off the shelf because we have an opportunity to actually show properties to our clients and the buyers can make decisions and not feel rushed and they can negotiate a little bit more. So, there's definitely pros, but if you only knew a market that was chaos and then now you're into this slower, maybe more stable real estate market, you may be having some high emotions too. We see people post in our real estate group, Real Estate Mega Moms, that I'm wanting to give up. I've been doing this for 4 years and I'm thinking about getting a 9-to-5 job, or, also the emotions of being a wife and managing that relationship and prioritizing that relationship, and then being a mom and, are calling as women, if you're a mom, to raise your children, right? To me, I think for most of us, the moment that baby's born, that's your first priority. And so all of the things we have going that's vying for our attention and our emotions, how do we balance it all? So what are some things that you do?
Oh, girl. There's so many things that are hitting right now. And, as I read through the comments in the group, there are a ton of emotions. you had mentioned the moms that are really struggling right now financially. I think that, being a mom right now, trying to provide, it creates that financial stress for, if they are married. So, perhaps they are arguing right now with their spouse that, maybe is creating that tension that the husband wants them to go out and get what they would say a real job. So perhaps they're, having that marital problem, and perhaps that's creating problems as they're trying to parent. I have 3 kids, 2 of them are adults, 1 of them's at home, but when there's financial problems and when there are marital problems, it does make it harder to have that patience as a parent. So in general, there's more chaos at home. So the things that I try to do, and I've always tried to do, is if you can get out. You had mentioned getting sunshine, just getting outside, and just taking a breath, taking a bath if you can. The things that relax you, just taking your mind off of it for a while. There is this commercial that Brad and I watch that is hilarious. It's an insurance commercial, and it says something like, I have a lot of bills, so I get out my motorcycle and I ride. And it's kind of funny because you can't ride, your financial troubles away, but like maybe for 5 or 10 minutes you can, right? So, just trying to like get some perspective, just get some peace of mind, doing something for yourself just for a second. But then on the flip side, you are going to have to probably get realistic and realize, what are you going to do to get ahead of those things? I am a realist, so I do know that, if you are behind on your bills and those kind of things, you are going to have to get ahead of it and, chip away at those things and come up with a plan. You unfortunately can't run away from them forever. But I think if you sit down at the table and realize, is it getting another part-time job to chip away at those? There's no shame in it. I mean, I've always told Brad from the very beginning when I got into real estate, if I have to flip a burger, I will do it. There's just nothing beyond. I mean, I will do what I need to do, and I've always said I would. I'll go to Walmart. I'll do whatever the thing is. I mean, don't think that you don't have to do those things just for a period of time. Of course, work your business like a business, but if you have to do something temporarily to pay the bills, absolutely do those
I'm
things.
glad you said that, because I actually am working with a company called Fusion Growth Partners, and one of the steps that we're going through is writing a story letter, is what they call it. So it's a personal letter about like my story that's going to go out to my past clients in my sphere. And by the way, if you haven't done something like that, even if you don't want to hire a company, I mean, you could even write a personal story about yourself. And I loved how they did it. So anyway, I was interviewed by this professional story writer, and she wrote it, and I got to review it this morning. But part of my story is actually during the Great Recession, or the housing crisis of, I think it was more like 2008 is when we started feeling the effects in my area. I had to make the decision to go get out of real estate for a while. And I didn't think I would ever go back, actually. I kept my license active, but I became a financial advisor. And looking back now, I feel like that was the best decision that I could have made, because at that moment in time, I wasn't fully equipped. And of course, I was 25 at that time. So, I still had a lot to learn, and I was able to shift gears, become a financial advisor, get my securities licenses, 7 and 66, insurance license, and I learned so much. And so every season, I think it just builds on each other. And I just want the mom that's out there that's thinking about getting out of real estate. First, let's see if we can help you with Real Estate Mega Moms. We do have a program called 6 Foundations. We guarantee you'll make $100,000 in a year if you follow our process. And it's not easy. It's a simple process. It's not easy because it requires you to show up daily for yourself. And a lot of people aren't willing to do that. But there is a path and there is a way for you to be successful. However, if you can't make your next mortgage payment, then I personally feel like you shouldn't be paying for a coach. And I have been in that position where we were overextended and I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and pay for this coach. And, sometimes it's really made a difference. And sometimes it's been a total waste of money because I wasn't in a position to receive. And so I think if you're in that desperate survival mode, it just depends on who you are, I guess. But most people are going to be so stressed out that they're not going to be willing to take the right action. So I would say, let's shift gears, get in a financially healthy state by taking another job, like Stefanie said. And it's okay to hit pause. Like, that doesn't mean that you failed in real estate. Your life isn't over. Your life doesn't end after a failure, right? You can overcome it and get back in and be a better agent even. And that was the case for me. I really do feel like I'm much more knowledgeable on the financial world and investments and how things work in the economy. And then I also got my insurance license with that. And so I'm able to advise my clients in a totally different way because I know how insurance policies work. I know, all of the ins and outs of the claims process and so on. So I just wanted to share that because I think it starts with your personal emotions, and that can be something as simple as your mindset, maybe meditation or prayer, helping you to get into the right mentality. It could also be on a chemical or hormonal level. So, I've even had test done so that I could kind of find out like what's going on here. And ironically, one of the things my provider prescribed to me was vitamin D, which, it's just a vitamin supplement. But I was telling Steph, I'm like, I just have felt happier, just like in general. And nothing's really changed in my life except for this month. We've been outside every day because we've been doing baseball. And I don't know if you can see my shirt. Can you see it?
Yes, I love it. In my baseball mom era. I love it.
Yeah. So anyway, and I have loved watching Henry, and, we got to spend time with Cody's sister and his mom and dad, and they're there. And, I love seeing people love my baby, and so it just give me, this is the happy endorphins every day, getting to watch him and just enjoy it. And I was thinking, man, I wonder if part of this perspective change, and not that I was miserable or anything like that, but just in general, our hormones and the chemicals in our bodies play a factor. Everything can be totally fine and something's off, and then you just feel bad,
You found your success. That's why you're happy. Seriously, to me, it's success is not financial, like a tie to financial. You found your success on a baseball field. You said it. I love watching people love my baby. There is your success. You found a way to be able to sit on a ball field you can afford sitting on a ball field, probably with a soda or a coffee next to a ball field. You can afford to put a t-shirt on you that says something fun about your baby, you can afford where you are in life right now. That equals success. There you go. Yeah. That is success.
That's right. That's exactly right. I don't have to have a mansion or, or a $100,000 vehicle or, all of those things.
You are in it.
Crazy how vehicles cost right now. So that's another topic. But, I love this era, but, it doesn't mean that we're without struggle. And so, there's still emotions to navigate and still hurt that comes up from either relationships, even like past friendships and clients and even maybe employees. And so let's talk about that. How do you overcome that emotion of hurt? And I'll give you a couple examples. First example, you have a friend that didn't use you as their agent.
Eek.
Mm-hmm. This
This is
happens a lot, right?
It does happen a lot. I mean, honestly, from the get-go, it's one of the things that I think you go into real estate naively thinking, of course, everyone that you know is going to use you. And I think it's one of the first gut punches. And I know when Jacob first got in the business, now he's been in it about 5.5 years. He had one of his first times. It's just like, Mom, so and so bought a house and they didn't use me. And I'm like, oh babe, it's like watching your newborn baby like fall off the couch or something. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah. So what I like to tell people, and it's probably easier to say than do, and I've had it happen to me too. So this is what I try to remind myself. I try to take my own advice here, but you are not entitled to your friend's business. So I see a lot of new agents, brand new agents that get into the business, and they, like you said, they automatically think, and I guess that was sort of your example there, they automatically think that their friends should use them. And the thing is, if you were to get operated on, I mean, I know it's maybe an extreme example, but I'm not going to go to a doctor just because they're my friend, right? I'm not going to go to a CPA that's handling my finances just because they're my friend. Now, if I can see their proven track record, their success, if they've earned my business, then absolutely. And so I think that's how we have to treat it. As now, there's a couple of reasons. Maybe they didn't use you because you didn't ask, right? Maybe you should present yourself in a different manner. But I often see agents cutting corners with their friends or family because it's like an automatically, and actually I've done this myself, automatically assume, they're going to use me. So you don't follow your process. You don't do your buyer consultation. You don't do a proper listing presentation where you're setting the right expectations for those people. You bypass that thinking, this is my friend, this is my best friend. And then something goes sideways and it doesn't work. And maybe, I've seen friendships end over real estate transactions.
That has definitely happened for me. I lost a friendship, and I think I mentioned the story before. I lost a really deep friendship, and I actually ran into her. This has been like 15 years ago, and I ran into her at a conference about 6 months ago, and she ran up to me and gave me a hug. And I just like melted. And she ended up getting a divorce. And it was kind of her husband that broke us all up. It was a weird situation. And she ended up getting a divorce. And I always I just loved her. And it just broke my heart that real estate came in between us. And she hugged me and she loved me, and she's like, we need to get together for coffee. So I just was so happy to see her, and it just instantly we were back together.
Yeah, and you're such a forgiving person too. So, but I think if you set your expectation that, hey, there's a greater reason, and we've said this for years, that you never know what God's protecting you from. And so you don't know. Maybe there's going to be an issue there that could affect your friendship, and you have a choice to still be kind to that person, to respect their decision, and to not be offended. We have a choice. I think that sometimes we forget when someone wrongs us, we feel like they've wronged us in some way, that we have to be offended or we have to react. And if we don't react, then this is how my mind works. It's like, well, if I don't tell them that they messed up here, then I'm letting them walk all over me, and I don't want to be a doormat. So I'm going to let you know about it. But is that always the right response? It's okay. And actually, Stefanie, you've given me some really good advice on this, and I think you know what it is. Do you know?
Oh, maybe you tell me. I don't know. I'm thinking of a couple things.
You have said to me, give people what they need.
Oh, there you go. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, yeah, if someone wants to hear something and it's not going to hurt you, just give them what they want. Tell them what they want, give them what they want to hear, and they're going to be happy, and it's going to make all parties happy. What is wrong with giving them what they want to hear?
Yeah, because of our pride and ego. And that's another, yeah, pride and ego. Yep. And, there's a lot of that in real estate. A lot.
Yep. And that is hard to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is hard to do. And it took me a long time to realize that it's the easiest thing that we can give someone to get everyone what they want and to move on. And I hate to say this, Brad's not here, but I'm going to say that it's hard for him to give because it's people want to just argue. And at the other side, you've always got to think is like, what does the other side want? They want to win. They want to win. They want to win. And typically it's only words that they want to hear. They only want to hear words. And a lot of it's they want to feel groomed. They want to hear that they're the best. They want to hear that everything that they've done is the best. And it's like, tell them they're the best. You are the best. You've been in real estate for such a long time. I've always admired everything you've done. If there's something that I want to know in real estate, I think of you. I always think, I want to call Rose when I want to think when I think real estate and I think about who knows the most. I think of you, Rose. And Rose all of a sudden is melting. She's like, oh my goodness gracious, wow, you're right. She does see the value in me. And all of a sudden, Rose, it wants to give me something back. And it's typically she wants to help me get this transaction done. And it is great. And all of a sudden, Rose likes me. And then the transaction just works. And Rose will remember me the next time we do a transaction.
Yeah. And I want to say, like, anything Stefanie says, she's genuine in it. So I think that might be something someone's going to object to of like, I don't want to just flatter people. But I do think you can be kind to people. You can choose to show up with kindness. Absolutely.
Because guess what? Rose has been on defense her whole entire life, and Rose just wants to be loved. And Rose has a heart, and she just wants to be loved. And if I love Rose, Rose is going to soften up, and I'm going to find out who she really is, and I'm going to fall in love with Rose. So it works. It really does.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you're going to have a much smoother transaction for your client. So there again, you're serving your client by having great agent relationships, as opposed to showing up as a bulldog and automatically on the defense and automatically, I almost think sometimes we take the negotiations so personally. Like there are things that our clients probably wouldn't care about, but we're like, nope, I want that. We're going to make sure. And the client's like, I just want the house, So be careful about that. Don't insert yourself because of your pride and ego into a decision that's going to jeopardize or compromise the transaction for your client. And leading with kindness is a great way to manage emotions. There's a Bible verse about this, actually. Proverbs 15:1. It says, a soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. So if somebody's coming to you on the defense, maybe being rude or saying something that is curt or unkind, you can respond with kindness and just watch them melt. It happens time and time again. I'm sure that's happened to you, Stefanie. I bet a lot because you are that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think people expect it, to be honest. Mm-hmm. And then once you open up with kindness, you can feel them soften up. And then the conversation just goes somewhere else. So yeah, it helps.
Yeah. Well, I think that we're going to have to do a part 2 because this could be a loaded conversation about emotions. And, we are human, we're not perfect. We have had great transactions, bad transactions. I know personally I've messed up and put my foot in my mouth more than once. And I'm the personality type that I'm a quick action taker, which in some ways has served me very well. And in others, I've taken action too quick before I fully understood the situation and made things worse for myself, sometimes my clients, hopefully not as much anymore, but so we've not arrived, but we're here to share with you our experience. I'm going to be in the business 21 years in August. And Stefanie, I know. And Stefanie, you're like 17 or something. Yeah, 17. So learn from our mistakes. And also, we have seen the crashes and we did go through some scary times. And I just want you to know that you're going to get through this. You're going to get through whatever is going on in your life right now. Hopefully your business is just exploding. I know mine is. We've closed more this year than we did the entire year last year. So from year to date, we're around 95 transactions. And I guess we were like at 105 last year for the entire year. So we're on track to reach our 180 transaction goal. And I love that. But I'm seeing that that's not the case for everybody. Not everyone's just, exploding this year. So if you're in a slow market, a down market where you're having a hard time getting transactions, just know there's light at the other end of the tunnel. You can hit pause. It's okay to have a plan B, and it's okay to go all in, and there is a path forward for that. And we're here for you with either path you choose. So yeah, let's do part 2. Do you want to do that?
Awesome. We will.
Okay. All right, moms. We'll see you in the next episode.